We begin in the Arctic, inside the Fortress of Solitude. We see a sorrowful Superman who says, "I'm dying. This is all real." Superman has undergone countless tests, dermal scans, and more. Everything that has happened to him in the past is now catching up with him. The cause and effect of 3 different events have severely harmed the Man of Steel: the fire pits of Apocalypse, the Kryptonite chamber at Argus, and the battle with Rao. Together, they have delivered a pure and lethal blow to the Kryptonian. The tests end, and Superman is upset. This death sentence is stealing his time. He will no longer have time to save the people of this world. He feels he is failing both his country and his planet. Meanwhile, in China, Dr. Omen is trying to hack into the central computer of the Fortress of Solitude. After a few difficulties, she succeeds and manages to download some data. Back in the Arctic, Superman is already investigating the situation. He asks the computer to identify who accessed his system. For now, he decides to go clear his mind. Even though he is sick and dying, there is always work for Superman. Clark heads to the streets to fight crime. After doing so, he decides to visit an old friend, Lana Lang. They have a conversation in which Superman tells her he is dying. The only thing his friend can do is cry. Clark asks her for a favor. When he dies, he wants to be buried next to his parents. We return to Dr. Omen. After reviewing the data she downloaded from Superman's computer, she decides to release someone who had been locked up in a storage room. On the streets of Minnesota, a man exits a store. A police officer sees him and asks him to stop. The man ignores him and throws a cup of hot coffee at him. As he runs away, something strange happens. A small electric surge hits him. The energy strikes him, and we see a small explosion. A couple walking by at that exact moment stops to check if everything is okay. They ask him if he's alright. The man responds, "Of course I'm okay. I'm Superman." In Metropolis, the real Superman meets with Lois Lane. He has decided to visit her and share the story of Clark Kent and Superman so she can tell it to the world. Superman's next stop is Gotham City. It's time to visit his best friend. He tells Batman about his condition. Batman says he'll do everything he can to help save his life. But Superman explains that he's already investigated and discovered that his illness has no cure. His visit isn't to ask for help finding one. It's to ask for help finding someone. He's been trying to locate his cousin, Kara Zor-El, better known as Supergirl. Clark believes she's the only one who can take his place in the world. If Batman can find her, Clark can die in peace. From the shadows, Alfred has been listening. He approaches the Man of Steel and thanks him for everything. Alfred and Superman leave. Batman stays alone in the Batcave, and in a moment of fury, he destroys his laptop. Later on, Superman returns to meet with Batman. They're standing atop a building. Batman says that during his investigation, he found out Kara had been working as a barista in a cafe, but later quit and headed to National City. Suddenly, they are attacked by monstrous beasts. Superman wonders who they are. Batman explains they are the 4 pillars, personifications of the Chinese zodiac. Superman doesn't understand why they're being attacked. The beasts speak Mandarin, which neither of them understands. After a short fight, Batman and Superman manage to defeat them. 3 of the beasts fall to the ground. Suddenly, they explode, and Superman absorbs the full impact. The creatures preferred to self-destruct rather than be interrogated. Out of nowhere, Superman is attacked again. The last surviving beast bites his neck, causing him to bleed. Afterward, the creature escapes. Superman continues bleeding and struggles to heal. He's never been wounded so easily before. Because of this, he becomes determined to go to National City to find Supergirl. Just as Batman mentioned, Kara is indeed in National City, but she's not there on vacation. The images suggest she has been captured and is being experimented on. A scientist tries to say something to her, but the Man of Steel tells him to shut up. He takes his cousin and flies away from that place. While flying through the air, Kara wakes up. She's upset with Superman and asks what's going on. Clark tells her he just saved her. She was in a lab undergoing experiments. Kara explains that she was there of her own free will. Recently, she began feeling tired and suddenly lost her powers. An agent named Cameron offered her help. Scientists would try to restore her powers in exchange for her occasional assistance. Unfortunately, the power regenerator they were using didn't work. Kara can now only regain her powers temporarily. The scientists were about to make one last attempt, but Superman interrupted them. While flying, Superman begins to fall. Kara catches him and asks what's going on. Clark tells her there's an important reason for his visit. Soon, only one survivor of their dynasty will remain on Earth, and that person is Kara. In China, the beast that attacked Batman and Superman arrives to meet with Dr. Omen. She asks if he completed his mission. He says yes. The beast's mission was to obtain a sample of Superman's blood. Now that Dr. Omen has it, she can begin working on something even bigger. We return to Metropolis. Remember the guy who was struck by the energy ball and claimed to be Superman? Well, he just showed up at the Daily Planet. It appears the energy blast not only gave him powers, but also all of Superman's memories. As he enters the building, he greets everyone as if he knows them. Of course, no one knows who he is, and no one understands what's going on. When he reaches Clark's desk, he finds someone else sitting there. The fake Superman gets angry and throws the man against the wall. After causing this commotion, Lois Lane sneaks up from behind and hits him with a taser, rendering him unconscious. The next step is to call Argus, so they can deal with the imposter. Back at the Fortress of Solitude, Kara and Superman talk. Clark explains his condition and tells her he wants her to protect his city, his country, his world. After a heartfelt conversation, Superman convinces her. Kara promises she will carry on his legacy. They are about to leave the fortress. Superman still has many things to do. But outside, Diana, Wonder Woman, is waiting for him. She's furious and asks when he was going to tell her that he's dying. Diana is the last to learn about Superman's condition. Kara quietly steps away to give them privacy. Superman tells Diana he hadn't told her yet, because doing so would mean saying goodbye, and that would be too painful for both of them. He was just gathering the courage. Diana tells him these past few months have been extremely painful for both of them. Before they take the next step, she needs to know if he is in love with her. Clark doesn't say a word. He just kisses her. The moment is interrupted. Lois contacts Superman and informs him about the situation with the fake Superman. Argus just took him into custody. At the same time, Steve contacts Diana and tells her the same thing about the imposter. We are now on Stryker's Island. Diana observes the fake Superman and comments that his shiny body looks exactly like the solar flare power Superman once used against Ulysses. At that time, the villain tried to destroy the Earth's core. Superman unleashed all the energy stored in his cells, creating a solar flare that incinerated everything within a 4-mile radius. After using his powers to the maximum, Superman was left powerless for 24 hours, until his cells recharged. Diana thinks this man might have been near that explosion and absorbed some of the energy. Ulysses is also on Stryker's Island. Superman decides to speak with him to see if he knows anything about the situation. While the two talk, the fake Superman becomes increasingly unstable and tries to destroy his cell. Diana asks Steve if the cell will hold. Steve says yes, although the reality is quite the opposite. The fake Superman destroys the cell. Steve is injured. A shard of glass from the cell pierces his leg. The fake Superman advances and attacks Diana. Meanwhile, Clark tells Ulysses their conversation is over. Suddenly, there's a warning. Stryker's Island is about to lose power. As a result, Ulysses manages to escape. At the same time, Diana fights the fake Superman. Ulysses thinks Superman is holding back, unable to defend himself. Clark is not only weaker, but also slower. Ulysses knows something is wrong with him. This is not how he imagined their final battle would go. Meanwhile, the fake Superman escapes. Steve manages to get back on his feet and, with great effort, reactivates the power system. Superman and Ulysses end up trapped in the cell. Diana arrives immediately. She demands Ulysses step away from Superman. Ulysses says their fight is over. He doesn't need to kill Superman, because he's already dead. A little later, Diana and Superman ask Batman for help locating the fake Superman. Batman's investigation reveals the imposter is in China. Before they can move forward, the Trinity is attacked. Batman loses control of his aircraft and can't eject. Fortunately, the situation doesn't escalate and Batman escapes in time. Before proceeding, a group called the Great 10 welcomes them to China, then asks them to leave. Upon hearing that, Diana responds with her fists. She doesn't take kindly to threats. Superman says that if the only way to move forward is to defeat them, then so be it. But before Clark can do anything, he is struck by an electric blast. One of the beasts is about to strike the Man of Steel. Batman tells him to duck and throws a batarang. In doing so, he accidentally cuts a medallion the beast had around its neck. This causes the beast to turn against its own companions. It seems that without the medallion, the creature can't distinguish between enemies. Batman realizes this. Superman grabs the medallion and places it on the creature's chest. Things calm down. One of the Great 10 thanks them for saving his life. Then he asks what they are doing in the country. Clark explains the situation. A fake Superman is killing people. Traces indicate he's in this country. The Great 10 agree to help and lead them directly to Dr. Omen. According to Batman, the fake Superman is inside her facility. Everyone questions Dr. Omen, but she denies knowing anything about what's going on. She claims that this Superman has never left the facility. What the Trinity is telling her makes no sense. Dr. Omen admits that she's used Superman's residual solar energy in her research, and that's why Batman picked up the trail. Before the Trinity and the Great 10 cause her more problems, she decides to release this Superman so that he can escape afterward. Superman suggests they go after him. The Great 10 refuse. This is a matter for China. They will handle this Superman themselves. The Trinity accepts their decision, not wanting to create an international incident. Now that there are two fake Supermen, the Trinity must focus on finding their own. Meanwhile, in Metropolis, Lois Lane receives a visitor. The fake Superman wants to have a conversation with her. He asks Lois if she believes he is the real Superman. She replies yes. Then he asks what people want from him. He says he only wants to help people, but he's been called an imposter, and that made him very angry. After being imprisoned, he managed to escape. Now, he's come to Lois because he feels safe with her. The fake Superman asks if she wants to know a secret. She says if he wants to tell her, that's fine. He says he can't tell her. He has to show her. We go to California. A family is preparing breakfast. Suddenly, the fake Superman arrives and asks if they can come in. Lois is in complete shock. This man in front of her looks exactly like Clark. The fake Superman introduces himself, and of course, he calls himself Superman. Then he introduces Lois. The man of the house gives his name. He's Clark White. And this is his son, Jonathan. Clark and the fake Superman sit down. The latter feels confused. He is Clark, but so is the man standing in front of him. The conversation ends. It's time to reveal the secret. The fake Superman lands a powerful punch on Clark. His clothes catch fire, and we see that he, too, is wearing a Superman suit. The battle begins, and both of them fly out of the house. We're with the Trinity. Since Superman is growing weaker, he can't fly at the moment, so they're all flying aboard Batman's jet. The Bat apologizes for wasting so much time. He was sure their fake Superman was in China, and now they've lost valuable time. Suddenly, Superman starts feeling unwell. His eyes turn green. As they continue flying, Batman receives a signal, an energy signature identical to Superman's solar flare. The signal is coming from California. So, the heroes change course and head there. In California, the battle continues. Lois tells John to stay put. John tells Lois that she looks and sounds just like his mom. The fake Superman tells Clark that in this world, there is only one Superman, and it's him. Suddenly, the Trinity arrives. Superman looks surprised and doesn't understand what's going on. Clark tells him it's a long story, one they don't have time to explain. Meanwhile, Lois, Clark's wife, arrives at the house. Seeing the state of her home, she runs inside, frantically calling out for Clark and Jonathan. In the distance, Clark hears her cries. Lois finds her son and immediately hugs him. Clark grabs his family and flies them far away from the scene. Jonathan and Lois have no idea what's going on. Meanwhile, the Trinity stays behind to fight the fake Superman. He is determined to eliminate the real Superman at all costs and take his place in the Justice League. Just before the fight begins, Lois arrives and begs them to stop. Feeling betrayed, the fake Superman prepares to attack her with his heat vision. Superman steps in and takes the full blast. Superman is seriously injured. The fake Superman attacks again with his heat vision. This time, Diana interferes and deflects the beam. After this, Superman asks Batman to take Lois away from the battlefield. Batman and Lois leave. Superman returns to action and delivers a powerful blow to the fake Superman. Diana follows with an attack from behind. Superman lifts a boulder and strikes him with it. Meanwhile, somewhere in Colorado, Clark is with his wife and son. He knows he can't put them at risk. This calls for the protection of the fortress. Once they arrive, Lois asks Jonathan to go for a little walk. She needs to talk to Clark privately. She asks how long he's had this place. She thought there were no secrets between them. Clark tells her he didn't hide it. He just took too long to say it. After a brief conversation, Clark calls his son back. He and his mother have a lot to tell him. Back to Batman. After flying a short distance, he drops Lois off at a gas station so he can return to help Superman. Lois doesn't want to stay there, so she calls for a helicopter to come pick her up. Meanwhile, Diana and Superman have dealt with the imposter. It was thanks to their combined strength that they landed a massive blow. The fake Superman returns to his normal form. He reveals his name is Denny Swan. He recently escaped from prison. Denny is dying, and Superman wants to do everything he can to save him. Suddenly, Denny's powers return, and he releases a massive solar flare. Diana and Superman are knocked to the ground. Denny grabs Superman by the neck and flies off with him. In National City, Kara is preparing to undergo another session with the power regenerator. Out of nowhere, everything is interrupted. A massive energy surge has been detected coming from California. It was caused by metahumans. One of them is Superman. Kara knows her cousin is in trouble, so she immediately takes off. Back in California, Denny has Superman by the neck and demands that he admit he is the real Superman. Superman refuses to say such a lie. Denny becomes enraged and blasts him with heat vision. Superman fights back. He tells Denny that he was struck by a ray of solar energy. He's basically a clone, and that's why he believes he's the original. Denny doesn't accept those words and only grows more furious. Superman retaliates with his own vision, but this time, the beams come out green. Denny unleashes another small solar explosion, launching Superman skyward. Suddenly, Kara arrives and kicks Denny in the back. She's here to protect her cousin. After exchanging a series of blows, Denny recovers and strikes her back with another solar flare. Out of nowhere, Batman appears. He attacks Denny with his aircraft, causing a massive impact. With the little strength he has left, Superman gets back on his feet and tries to help Kara. Diana asks Batman what the impact speed was. He replies, enough to take him down. But the attack didn't seem to do much damage. Denny has recovered and wants to end this once and for all. Before Denny can do more harm, Superman grabs him and flies into the sky. He knows Denny is an extremely unstable threat, and he doesn't have much time left. There's only one option. He must carry him as high as possible. That way, if Denny explodes, no one will die. Superman begins losing his powers again and starts falling. It seemed all was lost, but Clark arrives to help him. Superman asks who he is. Clark says he's a friend. Superman refuses his help and punches him hard. He doesn't know who Clark is, but whoever he may be, the world is going to need him. As Clark takes the punch, we see him plummeting toward Earth. Superman and Denny are now in space, fighting. Heat vision versus heat vision. If Denny expends all his energy, he's going to explode for sure. What comes next is Superman absorbing all that energy so it doesn't harm Earth. And he succeeds. Denny explodes. The energy seems poised to damage the planet. But fortunately, Superman absorbs just enough to prevent that. Now Superman is falling. Kara and Diana fly in to catch him, but Clark gets there first. It's over. Back on solid ground, Superman begins saying goodbye to his friends. Lana is the first. Kara and Lois follow. Then comes Batman. He tells Superman he is the best of them all. Serving by his side was a great honor. Diana is the last. Superman can no longer contain the energy he absorbed. Diana tells him it's okay. He just needs to let go. His parents are waiting for him. Time is up. Superman explodes. Lana and Lois are hit by a small shockwave from the blast. Superman is dead. His body consumed itself from the inside out. Batman looks at Clark and says he has many questions. Clark tells him he'll answer them, just not now. He walks away. Batman asks where he can find him. Clark replies, "Don't worry, I'll find you." After this tragedy, the world receives the news. Superman is dead. At her home, Lois sits down to write the story of Superman, the life of a hero. Thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe for more content like this. I'm TJ Prime, and see you in the next video.